Ladies and gentlemen, look at the calendar. It is December 30th, 2025. This is the final 24 hours of the old financial world. While the rest of the country is planning their New Year's parties, a massive $34 billion emergency liquidity injection has just been authorized by the Federal Reserve to save the bullion banks from a total silver default. The screen shows silver at $75, but the reality is much darker. This is the final shutdown of the paper manipulation system before the January 1st reset. I want you to ignore the red numbers on your New York broker app for a second. While Wall Street tries to convince you silver is crashing to $75, the Shanghai Gold Exchange is trading at nearly $89. That is a $14 spread and 14% premium. This is the death of arbitrage. The global pricing mechanism is broken because there is no physical metal left to move from west to east. The paper lie of the West is being exposed by the physical truth of the East. According to the final COMEX warehouse report of the year, the registered silver category, the only metal available for delivery, has effectively hit zero. JP Morgan and the other giants are entering 2026 with a physical deficit that is mathematically impossible to cover. They are standing on the edge of a force majeure event. If you don't hold physical silver in your hands by midnight tomorrow, you are holding a ticket to a cash settlement in a rapidly devaluing currency. Why did the Fed just inject $34 billion into the primary dealers? Because the silver short squeeze has already begun behind the scenes. Large industrial buyers from the AI and solar sectors are demanding physical delivery, and the banks don't have the atoms. This $34 billion is hush money to prevent the banks from collapsing before the new year starts. They're trying to bridge the gap to January 1st, hoping you'll sell your silver today to save them. Tomorrow at midnight, the January 1st lockdown becomes law. New international banking regulations, Basel IV, and FinCEN reporting rules take effect. These rules are designed to trap your digital wealth inside the system. They want to make it illegal or administratively impossible to exit the dollar once the reset begins. The final 24 hours of 2025 is the last exit door for your wealth. Once that door closes, your bank account becomes a digital prison. While New York sleeps, China just launched a 33-ton silver raid. They are sweeping up every available bar on the global market, paying $89 an ounce without blinking. They know that on January 1st, their own export ban goes into effect, locking the world's supply inside China. They are hoarding the industrial oxygen of the future. The West is losing its strategic reserves to a power that understands that physical metal is the only true wealth in a resource war. We are in the heart of Ghost Week. The senior traders are gone, and the algorithms are running the show on low volume. This is why they were able to flash crash the price to $75. It's a liquidity flush. They want to trigger your stop-loss orders and steal your silver at a discount. They are clearing the deck of weak hands before the massive institutional buying wave returns on January 2nd. Do not let a junior trader's video game wreck your future. Reports are emerging that tech giants like Samsung and Tesla have activated their own silver kill switches. They have stopped buying from the exchanges and are now funding mining operations directly to secure their 2026 supply. They know the COMEX is a paper mirage. This industrial bypass means that the silver you see on the exchange is just a ghost. The real metal is already spoken for by the companies that build the world of tomorrow. In 1933, they took the gold. In 2026, they are taking the purchasing power. Through inflation and central bank digital currencies, CBDCs, they are performing a digital confiscation. They don't need to knock on your door to take your wealth. They just need to devalue the digits in your bank app. Silver is the money of the resistance because it exists outside their grid. It is the only asset they cannot reset or delete with a line of code. By 2026, global solar demand is set to consume 30% of total annual silver production. But the banks are still shorting the metal as if supply is infinite. This is a collision course with reality. You cannot build a green revolution on paper contracts. The solar industry is a black hole for silver. Once the metal goes into a panel, it never comes back. This structural deficit is the fuse that is about to ignite the biggest explosion in commodity history. History tells us that when a $14 spread opens up between two major markets, a snapback is inevitable. Either Shanghai must drop to $75 or New York must rise to $89. Given that Shanghai is the physical market and New York is the paper market, we know which one is lying. The paper price is a rubber band stretched to its breaking point. When it snaps on January 2nd, the move to $90 and $100 will happen in a matter of hours. The $75 price point is a gift from the manipulators. It is a time machine that has given you one last chance to buy at 2024 prices before the 2026 reality takes over. Last week, everyone was crying that $80 was too expensive. Now, the banks have given you a $5 discount on a silver platter. Are you going to be scared by the red candle, or are you going to recognize the sale of the century before the store closes at midnight tomorrow? Under the 2026 banking guidelines, your deposits are technically unsecured loans to the bank. If JP Morgan defaults on its silver obligations, they can legally bail in your savings to cover their losses. This is why $34 billion was injected today. The system is on life support. Moving your wealth into physical silver is not an investment. It is a financial firebreak. It is the only way to ensure your family's labor isn't used to save a failing bank. Tomorrow night, the BRICS nations officially de-peg their oil trade from the US dollar. This is the end of the petrodollar era. As trillions of dollars return to the US, the purchasing power of your digital savings will evaporate. Silver, however, is a global constant. It doesn't care about the dollar's collapse because it is its own currency. The great wealth transfer is moving from those who hold paper to those who hold atoms. Position yourself now. On January 2nd, the massive institutional funds return to their desks. They will see a $14 spread and a physical shortage, and they will stampede into silver. They won't care about the price. They will only care about allocation. This institutional wave will dwarf anything we've seen in the retail market. The banks are smashing the price today so they can front-run their own clients on Thursday. They are buying your silver now to sell it to pension funds later. We are expecting force majeure notices to be issued by the COMEX in early January. They will tell contract holders, "We don't have the silver, here is some cash instead." But by the time they offer you cash, the physical price will be 30% higher. You will be settled at the old price and left behind. This is why, if you don't hold it, you don't own it, is the only rule that matters in the final 24 hours of 2025. Every AI server being built for the 2026 tech boom requires high-purity silver for its high-speed circuitry. Tech giants are now competing with central banks for the same limited supply of metal. Who do you think has more money? A bank that prints paper or a tech company that has $200 billion in cash? The tech giants are winning the war for silver, and they're doing it by clearing out the vaults while you are distracted by holiday sales. In the next 48 hours, focus on 3 things. 1. Ensure you have physical possession of your ounces. 2. Withdraw enough cash to survive a potential bank holiday or system maintenance period in early January. 3. Ignore the mainstream media's all is well narrative. They are paid to keep you calm while the smart money exits the theater. The final shutdown is not a theory. It is a scheduled event that begins at midnight tomorrow. Today's $75 price is the pulling back of the slingshot. The lower they pull it, the more violent the launch will be. When the China export ban hits and the institutional volume returns, the repricing will be vertical. We won't see $76, $77, $78. We will see a gap to $85, then $90, then $100. This is the asymmetric opportunity of a lifetime. The manipulators are out of physical metal, and they are out of time. The slingshot is ready. The countdown is at 0. The $34 billion is injected, the vaults are empty, and the January 1st reset is official. You have 24 hours to decide which side of the Great Reset you want to be on. Do you want to be a victim of the final shutdown, or do you want to be a beneficiary of the Great Silver Squeeze? Protect your wealth, secure your family, and stay tuned as we track the final seconds of the old world. The game is over.